So, the first trailer for Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone has just been released. I think something like 18 hours ago, as time of recording, and I'm excited to see it. Um, Harry Potter is part of my childhood, like it is for a lot of people. When it first announced that I was doing a series, a new show, I was quite surprised, and I did wonder, how is this going to work, and will it work? But I think there's a lot of course, trepidation from people because you don't want something beloved to not quite work out. Um, but I think having something new in that series, especially when it is so beloved, it'd be silly not to. Of course, we've had all these little news come through every now and then. Nick Frost as Hagrid, I quite like that decision. That was clever. And John Lithgow, I can't. Maybe I'm pronouncing the name wrong. But anyway, him, very likable American actor, as Dumbledore. Some of those choices were great. And then, of course, there's um, the people who are cast as Harry and Ron and Hermione are cleverly choices which are, of course, they have to be young and to start it off with. So that's quite exciting that they are doing that. Just like with the movies, when they began, it makes sense then that they're going to be younger, start off younger, and then progress as the show goes on. So it makes sense then that they're unknowns. So the question is, which has been the case for a while now, is will this be any good? Will it pay off the series? Will it pay off the books, just like the originals? Um, how will it differ? Is it necessary? Really? I know a lot of people are excited for it. I'm excited, whilst also being cautious. But it's now that we finally can get a little bit of inkling on what it might be like and what it may feel like. So excited to see the trailer just been released. Let's see if it works or if it doesn't, and let's see what it's like.
I told you. You are a normal boy. And you're going to start acting like one. You think you're something special? There is nothing special.
It's quite interesting that the aunt is the horrible one. Because, of course, she's horrible in the original film, first film, and the others. But it's usually Vernon, isn't it, who's the more horrible one. He's usually the more cruel. She's also horrible, don't get me wrong. But he was horrible mostly towards him. He was the one. But, so it's quite weird here. Like, is he around? Is he not in this one? Is she a single mother in this? What's this?
I've always wanted to know about my parents.
Your parents were the kindest, bravest people I ever met. They were funny and clever. And they stood up for what they believed was right.
I will say right now, it is weird because with the original films, is I think because they're older, it has that certain kind of detached feeling to it. I don't know why, because it's not what you recognize, if you know what I mean. Whilst here, because it is modern day and you can see all these modern surroundings, it's weird. It does feel like, oh, Harry Potter is this in the real world. You know what I mean? It is around now, even though, of course, it were back then, because it looks so different in a way, has a different feel to it. It kind of feels like its own thing. Whilst here, it is feeling like it's just in the modern day or anything around you. It's just like there's in the underground and just a subway. It's a not a bad thing, but it's a weird little thing seeing that, to be honest. I will say Harry, so far, he looks a lot like him. Because the thing is, with the original people, you did think, well, how are they going to feel like the characters we know and love, whilst still being somewhat different, just so, it can be worthwhile there being a different new show, sorry. But so far, he does feel like Harry. He does look like Harry. And so far, I think, so far so good. That's pretty good. And Nick Frost, said before, Nick Frost as Hagrid, perfect casting. He's got the voice right down. He's got the voice. And he looks perfectly like him. I knew and I think a lot of people did, if there was anyone who would be good casting and would not disappoint, it would be Nick Frost as Hagrid, and looks very good so far, I think.
I see you will be in Hogwarts.
The sad thing right there is seeing Ron's mum hug him. You feel sad for Harry because obviously Ron's getting that normal love most kids get, whilst Harry, of course, didn't have that and didn't have that. Although, of course, he did kind of have that kind of sort of like paternal or brotherly or whatever kind of like father figure or whatever figure from Hagrid. He did have that, but just the blood relative connection of a mother, seeing Ron get that he's seeing that. It's a little heartbreaking for him. Also, this shot here, feeling very much like straight out the first movie. That's pretty well done. Probably intentional. Just looks, you wouldn't know. You really wouldn't know.
Mr. Potter, I think we can expect great things from you. Let's see who you are.
I will say it's crazy seeing all the iconic sites like the Great Hall, the place where they have the pots. Forgot what they're called. The plant pot baby things. But seeing all of those sites, but now with different characters, crazy because it looks literally just the same. Literally no, and I mean it's a good way, but no variation. It feels very nostalgic seeing all those sites again in something new, and seeing those sites we associate with the original movies so much, with the same characters but different actors. Like, it is so weird. It's so like familiar yet fresh. It's pretty good. I mean, they've recreated it perfectly. Like, of course, something with that budget can, but yeah, it's a weird thought seeing that. Yeah. He looks so much like Dumbledore. That's unreal. That's good likeness. Good likeness.
Are you really Harry Potter?
It's a big, good Christmas present, won't it? Well, I will say that looks great. That looked great. Genuinely, I might have that feeling of wanting to like it, almost. But I think despite being excited about it, I did kind of share the same caution and the same wariness as a lot of other people did. thinking, what if? I mean, even if it did spoil it per se, you don't have to watch it. Even though it's not as simple as that, it's like I could see how it could be weird to have something else in a franchise you like, which you can't connect with. That would be a really weird thing. And I did think, like, is it too soon? And will it work? And of course, when certain choices were made as well, certain people weren't happy with that. But as with anything, there's one thing thinking something, and then there's another when you finally see it in action. And a lot of the times, it comes across a lot different when you finally see it. But even I did think, it might not be. I'm going to enjoy it, I'm going to watch it, but don't expect it to hold a candle to anything we've seen before. Let's just see it as an additional thing. Who knows, it might bomb, it might whatever. But having seen that, I'm proud to say, I think it's gonna be great, to be honest. I do think it looks really good. I think they had a hard job of making sure this did feel necessary and did feel worthwhile. And, making sure that the choices were the right ones. I did think, it could so easily disappoint people, even if they got everything right, per se. It could so easily disappoint people because Harry Potter is just one of the most beloved franchise in recent decades. You know what I mean? It's like, it's there with Star Wars and Marvel and DC and all of that stuff. Which I love. Which is saying something when it's its own kind of like thing. Like with Marvel, there's so many different characters, so many different comics and characters and storylines. And same with DC, of course, Star Wars, but is kind of its own thing, but it's still been developed by lots of stuff since then. But Harry Potter is just like a couple books. Well, more than a couple, but like 12 books, but it's pretty, good that it can even match franchises like that. And so, along with that comes a lot of like fans loving it and the potential for it to disappoint. But I think it looks, it looks great, to be honest. I think visual wise, like I said, I think I like they've recreated the original movies really, really well. A lot of the characters' likenesses to the originals are also great. Great. There's some other choices they've made which I think still don't feel so jarring as you thought they might have been, or don't feel so out the blue, or they don't stick out. Really, they don't stick out. Like I say, I like Nick Frost as Hagrid. I knew I would, and there don't see much of Dumbledore, but that one shot of him, you're like, yeah. I mean, is it John Lithgow? Livego, in whatever way you pronounce his name. He's very much lost in that role. I don't mean that in a bad way. What I mean is, as in he's unrecognizable. You wouldn't know it's him. Because he looks so much like the original. Like, he looks like the Michael Gambon, Dumbledore, the first Dumbledore. And then, Harry, Ron, and Hermione, they look authentic, and they seem very much like them. Of course, you didn't really see much of Hermione and Ron. In fact, you didn't even. I don't think you heard Hermione speak, did you? But in any case, like, I think they are gonna do a good job of playing the characters, being faithful to the books and the original films, but also being its own kind of like thing within that, within this series. Overall, I just think it'd be cool to watch a series of it. I think that's a great idea, actually, and looks good. looks promising, looks exciting, looks a bit of fun. Doesn't look so jarring as you thought it might have done. It looks a lot more. It looks exciting, you know. I think it's gonna be good, and I do think it's necessary, even though it's not like the most. Oh, we really need this right now. I think the general feeling and the general atmosphere from that is off. Okay, you know what? We didn't necessarily think we would get a series or particularly ask for a retread of it, but I think now that it's here, or when it is here at Christmas, I think we will appreciate it, and I think it will pay off any excitement, but also do well to dispel any feelings of God, they're gonna ruin this. I think from what we see, of course, it's only a little bit. Really, it's it's very quick. It's a teaser after all. It's shots, a lot of shots, not a lot of dialogue, not a lot of actual. There's a substance there right now. It's more so visual, but what we do get so far, I think, is promising, and I think I don't really know what people think of it yet. I haven't seen because I've tried to stay away until I saw it. Now, I guess I'll see what other people think, but looks good. Looks good, and I'm glad I saw it first time here as well. So, cheers. Let me know what you think in the comments if you want. Do you think it looks good? Do you think it's gonna be good? Do you think it's necessary? And who feels the most like their character? Anyway, cheers. Cast a spell on the subscribe button if you want. Do a little on the like, maybe. And cheers.